How you doing? I'm doing great myself today. I want to talk to you about listening. Listening, you should be doing right now, listening to me. But many people don't listen very well in sales. You'll find it everywhere that it says that in sales, listening is key. But if you look at all the sales books, you won't find many chapters on how to listen and listening generally. So there seems to be something really missing here. But it's a key thing. Selling is more about listening than talking, because if you don't listen well, what you're going to say when you talk is going to be missing the point. Now, I've noticed in my career when I've been brought in to consult and coach people to be top billers, to get them from whatever they're billing now to something quite high. You know, sometimes they drop down, they're earning well into six figures and it suddenly drops down. I've got to get them back up there again. And what I do, I listen to their recorded calls. That's quite common. Done a lot in the investment selling industry where it's actually quite the norm, and in fact they have to do it in a lot of cases. So the recorded calls are really quite valuable, and one of the things I hear repeatedly in sales calls recorded, even by experienced people, is the prospect says, yes, I'll go ahead, here is my order, and the salesperson keeps going through their pitch repeatedly. Even at times they repeatedly try to buy and the salespeople keeps talking on. I find it myself frustrating when you're talking to people and they shut you up and just keep wanting to talk, and they're all output. Now you've got to get very input, and so you know you've got to let them buy sometimes, not just sell to them, let them buy. And most great salespeople don't say that much. I've listened to recorded calls of top billers and the average billers and the below average billers, and one of the things is on the recorded calls, the higher up the performance of the salesperson, the less they talk, the more they listen. So take this as very important. Now, how do you listen? Well, just not talking isn't listening, because your internal mind is full of these dialogues going on and it's noisy in there. So you've got to blank your own mind. Now, most salespeople before a meeting or before an important sales call, telephone, whatever, prepare in what they say and they're into the scripts. Sometimes if they have to make a public presentation, they get very nervous about their script and what they've got to say. And people ask me how I do so well at public speaking, apart from the fact that I've done it for years and been on every course, is that I don't prepare. I know anybody brings me in to talk on a subject, I know the subject, so I don't spend a lot of time preparing. I take notes, I've got notes here in front of me if I need it, and prompt there. Trust your unconscious, your information is in there. So you've got to learn how to blank your mind. You'll find people who've done various things like yoga or meditation. It's very good training to actually calm down the mind and keep the information not flowing to actually zero. And if you ever tried meditation, you'll realize just how difficult it is to blank those voices out, those dialogues that you just can't turn off. In fact, in sales, we so often do this the other extent that we find a trouble getting to sleep at night and are not at top performance the next day because our mind didn't turn off. So take up yoga, meditation, that's what worked for me. But I've also found people who do martial arts tend to be very good at this, karate and judo. People learn to really discipline their mind and to turn it off. There is other ways. What I want you to do after you've stopped listening to this video, which is only 5 minutes, I want you to actually write down what I said, the key points about what I said. Then play it again and you'll realize just how much you missed, and that'll be a measure of how good a listener you are. And you can do that on any video on YouTube, anything for 5 minutes. And if you keep doing that, you'll get better and better to actually train yourself to listen. Because even while you're listening passively to a video, your internal dialogue can be taking you and digressing you in different directions. This is why when we read a book sometimes, we get more out of it the second and the third and the fourth time. Problem is, when you're on the phone or visiting a prospect, you only get one shot quite usually. So that doesn't really work for us. The other practice I've found with people, which works quite well, wherever you are, and ideally, if you're in the garden at home or in a park or somewhere, that's even great. Write down a piece of paper or on your phone on a note, what are the 20 sounds I can clearly, distinct sounds I can hear? That actually will get you used to using your ears to pick up things, and you'll be surprised that where you're working you think, my God, I never noticed that before. So really get used to that listening and doing it. Now once you've actually got this basic listening, most people new in sales use questions, which is great to get lots of information, and that's vital because you can't sell to somebody without the information on all of the things about them and what they need and what they're looking for and so forth. But when they talk, they're so much more powerful than that, and it's what I call pattern detection, and using it is what makes the difference between somebody earning £50,000 a year in sales to somebody earning 150,000 and above. They pattern detect. They listen for things, very simple patterns like, are they using, what sort of words? Are they very sensory words? Like, are they visual? Are they auditory sounds? Are they feeling words? You know, the senses that we've all got. People use the word, and you might find that they predominantly use one of them. Very key pattern. Another one, which is quite key, the tense they use, past, future, present. You know, it shows which way they think. That's a key pattern that you want to do. Any repeated phrases. You can pick up decision-making sequences. Somebody talks for 5 minutes, I will tell you how they will come to a decision on anything. It's given away in the pattern, so get really good at listening and picking up this information. Tonality changes. Buying signals are usually tonality changes rather than specific words. So any tonality changes, you need an ear to pick it up. It's why when we recruit, by the way, we always put very high marks for anyone who's got auditory skills, like they play the guitar or piano or something, because it shows that they've developed those sorts of skills. Okay, when you've picked up that information, the general information, but also the pattern, you can use mirroring and to develop rapport, just throw back their own words to them. But you can gear your questions to what you've now learned, and that's how you close the big deals and regular deals, by doing the job of sales professionally and thoroughly enjoying the process and all the commission as well. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.